In a sensational political move, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer resigned after being in office for nearly 2 years. What led to this sudden resignation? Mystery turns deeper as Starmer's resignation came barely hours after US President Donald Trump forecasted on Truth Social that PM Keir Starmer is going to relinquish this post. In the next few minutes, we will unravel world's biggest mystery that led to Starmer stepping down from this coveted post. Keir Starmer's political rough patch started with the appointment of former MP Peter Mandelson as the UK ambassador to the United States without vetting. Starmer faced huge criticism over the appointment. A government review and a subsequent US Justice Department investigation unearthed previously unseen emails revealing that Mandelson has maintained close ties with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, long after Epstein's 2008 conviction. The files alleged that Mandelson had shared sensitive UK government documents regarding the 2008 financial crash with Epstein while serving as government minister. What began as a calculated, highly successful gamble to win over the Trump administration ultimately collapsed into a toxic political liability, severely damaging the special relation, indirectly accelerating Starmer's resignation. When Starmer appointed Mandelson to Washington in late 2024, it was widely seen as a pragmatic, center-right pivot designed explicitly to handle Donald Trump. Mandelson, a smooth, ultra-connected political heavyweight with deep comfort among the global financial elite, was sent to charm the incoming US administration and insulate the UK from Trump's threatened global trade tariff. Initially, the strategy worked brilliantly. Mandelson successfully built a highly cordial, functional bridge to the White House. In May 2025, Trump hosted Mandelson in the Oval Office to announce a breakthrough UK-US trade agreement that exempted British automotive, steel and aluminium industries from severe US tariffs. Trump publicly praised Starmer's government at that time, calling Prime Minister a very good person who was doing a very good job despite their deep ideological differences. Mandelson's presence effectively neutralized the natural friction between left-leaning Labour government and popularist Republican White House. Secondly, apart from Mandelson, the political rift between NATO leadership and Prime Minister Keir Starmer ignited over a critical clash between domestic fiscal constraint and Donald Trump's aggressive defense spending demands. With President Trump threatening to withdraw US support from allies failing to meet a rising 3.5% GDP defense threshold, NATO leaders heavily pressurized European states to bolster their military budget. Starmer initially attempted to bridge this gap, committing the UK to a 2.5% target by 2027 with a long-term path towards 3.5% by 2035. The alliance fractured when leaked documents reveal Starmer's upcoming defense investment plan had quietly scaled back those ambitions to just 2.68% by 2030 due to domestic funding shortages. NATO chiefs viewed this as a catastrophic retreat that undermined European deterrences. The public exposure of Starmer's watered-down figures triggered the immediate resignation of his own Defense Secretary, John Healey, exposing fatal government division that rapidly forced Starmer's resignation. Thirdly, a scathing public intervention from Lord George Robertson has pushed Downing Street into a corner. The former NATO Secretary General, who spearheaded Prime Minister Keir Starmer's own 2025 Strategic Defence Review, issued a stark warning that UK national security is in peril. Robertson condemned a corrosive complacency within the political leadership, arguing that the government is merely paying lip service to the deadly quartet of global threat, including Russia and Iran, while failing to back the SDR's 62 recommended action with cold hard cash. The rift centers heavily on rhetoric to reality gap in defense funding. While Starmer has committed to a long-term 3.5% GDP target by 2035 to placate Donald Trump's defense demand, the Treasury has yet to publish its vital 10-year defense investment plan. Robertson blamed non-military experts in the Treasury for budgetary vandalism, warning that Britain cannot be defended by prioritizing an ever-expanding welfare budget over military readiness. Lastly, the rift between Trump and Starmer over the Iran war is said to be the real reason. Trump played backdoor politics to overthrow Keir Starmer. However, there is no direct evidences of political interference, but US is known to use such tactics for regime change. The rift between Donald Trump and Keir Starmer erupted when Starmer denied a direct US request to use British military bases, specifically the RAF Fairford and Diego Garcia, to launch offensive stealth bomber strikes against Iran. Fearing a repeat of the Iraq war legacy, Starmer's cabinet firmly rejected regime change from the skies. Besides, Labour MPs increasingly lost confidence in him. Labour suffered electoral setbacks and faced the rise of Nigel Faragew's Reform UK. Andrew Burman emerged as a viable successor to Keir Starmer. So, all these issues ultimately connected with Trump led to the resignation of Prime Minister Starmer. What do you think about Starmer's resignation? Do let us know in the comment box below. Until then, you are watching National Defense. I'm Shreya signing off.